Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is JustJalisaRanae, everything entrepreneurship and faith. And today we are talking about DIY business graphic design and how I use Canva to create my cohesive brand.
And how you can do the same thing, because I mean, Canva is not expensive. All right.
So let's get into this video. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And let me know if this video helps you. Let me know if you like it, okay?
Because I make these for y'all. Period.
So let's get into this video without further ado. Here we go. Okay, so first things first, download the Canva app, open it up. I am going to start with my branding colors here. And I'm going to pick this cute one because I really like this little taupe color. Then you're going to open up the elements. So my brand is boho. So, you know, boho vintage theme. So I'm going to type in vintage paper for the background. I'm going to find something that I like just to add some element and some depth to my graphic. Okay, so I picked this little, I don't know, little blob or whatever. Then I'm just going to look through some of the other elements under vintage paper, see what I can add to it to just, like I said, add some depth and some interest for my graphic. So I like this little cute little, you know, piece of paper. I think it's so cute and vintage and fun. Then I'm going to add another piece of paper over it and find where I want it to be placed on my graphic. So keep in mind that the lines will pop up to help guide you on, you know, proper placement. Okay, so I'm just going to add in a few more other elements and play around with the sizing and the placement of each element, because that truly matters, y'all. If it's not visually appealing, nobody's going to want to look at it. So just pay attention, okay? So I'm going to keep looking through some other elements that go with my brand. Like I said, my personal brand is vintage boho theme because that's just the type of person I am. So I'm just going to add several layers of vintage inspired pieces, paper, little like knickknacks. I also like to do plants and pampas grass, things like that. So you see me here just playing around with the layers. You can push the graphic or whatever element that you're using to the back or to the front. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to the text. So I have specific text that I use for all of my posts. So I'm just going to change the text to the one that fits my brand. And I have that in my branding packet or branding kit as it's labeled on Canva. And then I'm also going to go back to elements and insert a photo of myself, but what they have are frames. So like you can do a frame of like a Polaroid picture, a piece of paper, letters, numbers. They have so many different type of frames you can insert your photo in. So I am just going to find like a paper looking type of frame that fits, again, my brand. And then I'm going to use one of the photos that I've already uploaded to Canva to insert into the frame. All you do is drag it into it and it will automatically place it within the frame for you. All I'm going to do is crop it, if need be, scale it to make it bigger and or smaller. I'm not really feeling how this is looking because of the other elements on here. So I'm going to go to effects as I'm clicking on the image, and then I'm going to go to BG remover to remove the background. Everything behind me is going to go away because I don't want it on my graphic. And voila, there you go. All that is left is me. Okay, so it's going to automatically detect the person within that image, and it's going to wipe the whole background out. Okay, so moving on, let's go back to the text. Okay, so I'm going to put in the title for this graphic, which I like to use two different fonts. I use my main font, which is like this bold font that you see here. And then I also add in a secondary font, which is more of like a cursive to add some depth of field to my graphic. So I'm going to change the color of this font to my branding colors. And then I'm going to click on effects, and then I'm going to use this effect to outline the words. Okay, you could change the colors of the words as well. All of the colors that I'm using are my branding colors. Okay, so please keep that in mind. You see me here just playing around with the placement of the words. I'm trying to see what looks right, what, you know, what I'm feeling, what I'm not feeling. So I'm going to go back to change the colors because I don't feel like this pops enough. So right now I'm just going through to see, okay, Jalisa, what color pops on top of my background? Okay, that's very important. If your colors are bleeding together, or it's hard to read, or it's hard to see, then that makes it less likely for people to actually click on it and read the title. So be very, very, very cognizant of your color choices, okay, to make sure that they are visible for all readers and all different types of, you know, ability of reading. You know, if someone wears glasses or things like that, you want them to still be able to read your title. So I made it bigger and I changed the colors to where it pops more. And now I'm going to finish by typing the rest of my title. And this is going to be using that sub font that I was telling you about earlier, which is more of a cursive font. And so then what I like to do is I make it a little bigger, and then I'm going to change the font. And then I'm also going to go to the effects as well and use a different effect to make these words pop on top of the background as well. And that is what you see me doing here. It's just playing around with the placement. I like to overlap my cursive over my main font because, you know, it just looks spicy. It just looks cute to me. Like, it makes it look so much more professional than just having everything so cookie cutter. You want to overlap certain elements. You want to create depth, okay? This comes from my photography and creative background. So for me, it comes easy. But for someone else, ask yourself this. When you put on an outfit, do you want your outfit to stand stale and look just plain and bland? No, you want that bad boy to pop. So you're going to use certain colors and certain textures and certain materials that contrast so well with one another. That is all creating graphics is. It is just making things look appealing and creating depth of field to make it look interesting for your viewer. Okay, so keep that in mind. So this is what you see me doing here, is just playing around with the colors just to make sure that it pops and that everything is cohesive. Okay, you also want to always double check your placements of words, of elements, even your photos, to make sure that everything is centered properly, okay, and that everything is scaled properly. So you do not want your stuff to just be all over the place, okay, because nobody's going to want to look at it. Nobody's going to want to read it. You want to make sure that everything flows and it looks cohesive. You're creating a brand, so don't like half-step it, okay? Take this stuff serious, because when people see your brand, they want to work with you. And if they don't take your brand serious, they're not going to take you serious, okay? That's just a little nugget. So you see me going back here to elements. I want to make this secondary cursive font really pop. So I'm looking for a brush stroke of some sort. So I'm just going to go through. I don't scroll for too long. So if I don't see something I like within a couple little seconds, then I'm going to type in a different search word. Okay, so I found one I like, so I'm going to put that behind it. Okay, so once I have that behind the text, I'm going to make it bigger. And then, like I mentioned to y'all, I'm going to make it to where it is visually appealing. So I'm going to off center it a little bit just to add some sort of like character to it. Okay, you don't want everything going perfectly across because that's boring. So I'm going to take down the transparency so that it's not completely white. I still want you to see somewhat of what's behind the brush stroke, and that's perfect. That's perfect. You can still see what's behind it and it flows. So next I'm going to save my design, and then I'm going to upload it to YouTube and also use it as content on my Facebook and Instagram social media pages. So you can do this with any type of graphic, y'all, and I hope this truly helped y'all. Y'all get to creating, because it's not hard, y'all. Make it fun and tune in for my next video.